It's about the technique. It's about, spending the time, with them to really nurture their breathing, nurture their larger flowing experience of, okay, you're on final approach. Now you're remembering to breathe. So if you do that enough, through these visualization processes where you're in the mindset, all right, I'm on final approach, a little bit of tension on the brake lines, I assume this body position, I'm looking at this angle, I'm seeing the big wide picture, I'm making little corrections on my body, not on my toggles, not inducing oscillations. And in that process, I impregnate a program in your mind. This is breathe, not just little breathing. Like, are you familiar with box breathing? There's different versions. So box breathing is something that we teach firefighters, and some of the military groups teach this idea. But basically, you inhale all the way fully, you hold, and then you slowly let out, and then you hold, right? And depending on who's teaching it, it might be 5 seconds or 6 seconds on each leg of that square. But I'm leaning towards not a specific hold. I'm experimenting right now because I did that for a long time, the hold and relax and slowly let it out. What I'm exploring is so inhaling coming up, and then a smaller breath on the high end. I'm not exhaling all the way, and then back down to a full exhale, and then a smaller breath with the full, at the bottom of my lungs, and then repeating. Right? Does that make sense? So I spend time in residing in the full expansion in this smaller breath, and then the full exhale. And at the bottom, when my lungs are really, my rib cage is completely just pushed it all out, I'm going to stay with that exhale phase and do a small, slow inhale down there. So it's literally exercising my lungs in both capacities. In the same way that modern exercise gurus teach us, when you stretch, you don't just lean into it until it hurts and stay there. You go to the point where you feel it, and then you oscillate around that expanded state. You move, you dance, you flow. You don't just push, push, push. You actually stay there longer because you're sort of moving in and out of the pain. And as you move in and out of that pain, the expansion begins. You start to go bigger in that regard, extending your, that muscle a little bit further. I mean, there's much more to the story, but if you take that very concept and go, wait a minute, what am I doing here? I'm expanding and contracting my lungs. I'm expanding and contracting my intercostal muscles of my rib cage. I'm expanding, contracting my diaphragmatic shape change, right? As the diaphragm flexes and flattens, I inhale. As I relax my diaphragm and it becomes rounded in its natural state, I exhale. So this is the exhaling is the relaxation. The inhaling is the work. Either way, though, we have to increase our capabilities to do both of those. But what I'm talking about is staying with the full expansion and the full contraction state a little longer in a flowing way, not a painful, I'm staying in the prison of my exhale. I'm going to sort of linger here and, dance a little bit, decorate yourself. Then as a result, your lungs going to have greater capability to expand further, to contract further. And of course, where my piece comes in is, as a skydiver and somebody that tries to help people deal with adventure adrenaline, when we're freaking, when we're tense, this is what helps us to soften and relax and focus our minds back on the game. The game, not just as it is, but as it could be, the possibilities of your expanded skill leading to expanded, enjoyment, but also expanded safety. The better you are at it, the safer these things are. And my breathing changes how I can work the noodle, how much I can resource, manage the information that I have, in that hot moment. How quickly can I access the information about how my reserve is built? So when I'm reaching around to hand deploy it after my pilot chute is tangled in, in my main or something, I've got possibilities because I can envision beyond what I can see. The front part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the imagination center, it sees more than just what the eyeballs see, more than just what the ears hear. And quite often in this sport, I've been saved by envisioning a solution that wasn't currently in my data set, or my programming for that matter. And I believe that the breathing is the doorway to the brain, to accessing, these, wider array of possible solutions.
But if you don't follow your path, you know what I mean? The one that feels right in your gut, what are you?
Look how far we've gone today, walking hand in hand. Iron footprints in the sand, so swiftly blown away. Step through the window, back to the days gone by. Paper napkin wipes a teardrop from my eye. Through my life I've seen so many wondrous things, memories that soothe my soul and memories that sting. Climb atop a mountain and survey the vast expanse. See the people running around a great colony of ants. Distant noises carry on, rushing in their frantic pace. I sit relaxed upon a rock, making notes about the race. Stare through the window, back to the days gone by. A paper napkin wipes a teardrop from